The origins have to do with just, I think, something that a lot of people have experienced when you turn off the lights at home at night and you think, is that something standing there in the corner? Or then you have to turn the lights back on and then you see that, okay, it's just a pile of clothes or whatever. I think that's very, very familiar to people. And it was kind of fun to have that idea of what if there actually was something in the dark that could get you. The short was created by just my wife Lotta and I back in Sweden. We'd been trying to, we wanted to do like genre films, short genre films, and try to get money from like the Swedish Film Institute, which is how you get that done over there. But they weren't as interested in doing that. So eventually Lotta and I said, screw it. I mean, I have a camera, we can just make our own. So we tried making a little horror short called Camp Closer at first and had a great experience. And then we saw online that there was this horror competition called the Bloody Cuts Horror Challenge, where you make a 3-minute horror film and win prizes. So we figured, that's what we're doing now. Let's enter that. And that's all Lights Out was ever supposed to be, just a contest submission. But then, a few months after the contest, the thing just blew up online and became this viral thing, and suddenly Hollywood started calling and wanted to make a feature out of it. The story of Lights Out is about this girl, Rebecca, who grew up with a mom who suffered from some sort of mental illness. And she just couldn't deal with her mom because her mom had this invisible friend of hers called Diana. So she ran away from home at an early age just to get away from this. And she hasn't really gotten over that. Like, she still has commitment issues, and she's not a fully functional human being. And when we sort of pick up this story is when her stepbrother is in the same situation that she was in, that he's stuck with this mom who's crazy. So she has to come back into their lives, and that's when she finds out that maybe mom wasn't crazy after all. Martin is Rebecca's stepbrother. And so he now has to deal with pretty much the same thing that Rebecca had to deal with, in that he's living with just his mom, and his mom is dealing with all this craziness. But in contrast to Rebecca, who sort of became sort of bitter and angry with her mom for being this way to her, Martin is sort of more understanding. Like, he understands that this is, that, he feels sorry for his mom, that she's going through a lot, and he doesn't really blame her for being the way he is. And he sort of, that's something Rebecca learns from him as well, that it's, we need to be there for mom. We can't just run away. Diana has this ability or condition where she only exists in the dark. So as soon as you turn off the light, she's not only invisible, she's actually gone. So, I mean, if she's holding something in the dark and you turn off the lights, then that thing will just fall down. So she actually, in a way, ceases to exist, which means that you're safe in the light. So you always need to stay in the light and have a lot of light sources at your disposal. Martin is played by Gabriel Bateman, and we had this long casting process of trying to find the right child actor because it's difficult. And the hard thing was seeing these auditions. You can sort of tell that a lot of these kids have been coached by their parents, and it's like the lines they read just don't feel real at all. So what I did was I did more like improvisational exercises with them. One of those things was that I took this thing from the casting office and said, okay, I've stolen this thing from you, and I want you to come in through that door and like convince me to give it back to you. And Gabriel just came in and just gave it his all. Like, he was, and when I refused to give it to him, he was like all over me and almost fighting me. And it was like, this kid has like no fear or like no inhibitions at all. So it's like very clear right away that he's the guy. I think this film has the potential to scare a lot of people just because the fear of the dark is such a thing. I mean, it's really the fear of the unknown, and which is what we all have really. And the dark is just a manifestation of the unknown because you don't know what's hiding in there. And I think that's one of the more effective things. I think it can be, hopefully, it can be almost like Jaws, but instead of the ocean, this is the dark. So you want to stay out of the dark. So hopefully we'll make people even more scared of the dark.